Welcome back, everybody. Cuthbert Langley here talking holiday travel along with our experts we have today, Stephanie Milani with AAA and, of course, the commissioner for the TDOT, John Schroer. They are joining us. We are talking a whole host of discussions today, really, from the holiday forecast to a lot of the big projects going on along the interstates. And just to rehash, holiday forecast this year is going to be busy.
It is. Record numbers, 100 million people out on the roads nationwide. Tennesseans will account for about 2 million of those. Okay. Record low gas prices.
For once we can say that,
yes,
right?
Record low gas prices are definitely contributing to that, as well as more disposable income in people's pockets.
Absolutely. So it's going to be very busy. And you said the 23rd is the best time. Well, now, but
now, go now.
Yeah, go now. Okay. Everyone's going to be out on the road on the 23rd and blame us if
everybody's packing up right now as they're watching.
Right, absolutely.
But if you can go, the earlier the better. And then again, if you're staying through the first of the year, stay till the second or third to kind of minimize as much traffic as you can.
Absolutely. And if you have to, say you have to work on Christmas Day, like myself, is the 25th, I mean, is that a busy day? Not a bit? I mean, like, what does the 25th look like in terms of people?
You know, we don't ask people specifically when they're going to be traveling, but I would think that more people will stay than just one day. So the 25th, go then. Be fashionably late.
Right. That's my plan. The joys of working in news. You have to work every day, regardless of if it's a holiday or not. And we were talking a lot about just kind of the funding, the big projects going on with TDOT, and you guys are going to be kind of pushing off some of those construction projects like you always do during the holiday season.
Yeah, and again, we want our drivers to be safe, and we want our workmen to be safe. We also like them to spend some time with their families during the holiday season. If I may, I want to mention our SmartWay app.
Okay.
And one of the things that we talk about that we want you to know before you go, so that you can plan your route if it's bad. And we have an app. It's called SmartWay, and you can. And it's www.smartway, smartway.tennessee.gov, and you can download that app, and it will tell you all over. Actually, it works all over the country because it's tied into Waze, and so you can figure out, no matter where you are, if there's a traffic ahead, and it shows the speed of the interstates, and so you can plan what you do. Before I leave my office, I always look at it to see which direction I leave out of downtown, and it's a great tool for planning your morning and evening commute, or even, if you're going to Knoxville for a football game or whatever, or any type of event like that, you can, before you leave, you can look and check to see if the interstate's clear, if something's going on, and if there's an incident, it'll tell you what it is and when it's supposed to be cleared, and it's a great tool for people that are driving.
Absolutely. And Stephanie, you guys with AAA have a lot of resources that are available to folks too. Can you kind of run through the highlights of some of those?
Sure. So we have an app as well, so just go ahead and download both of them.
Right, perfect.
It's AAA Mobile, so you can go to your app store. It's available for iPhones, iPads, and of course Android devices. But it's if you want to check it out and see what all is available before you download it, you can go to AAA.com/mobile. So this is a good tool to also route your trip. You can look at alternates if you want to try to avoid some construction like that. But also, if you will pass it to your passenger, don't want you doing this while you're driving, it will pull up the cheapest gas station near you. So if you see that your gas tank's getting, a half or a quarter of tank, which we suggest that you don't go below a quarter of a tank when you're traveling. Anything could happen. Right. Remember that.
I do that all the time. I'm the worst. I'll get down to like close to E, and I'm like, oh, hopefully there's no traffic.
We'll see if we can
we'll figure it out. Yeah, just kind of see what happens.
For people who don't do that, or the ones that do, you can ask your passenger to pull up the app, and they can find the cheapest gas station. It's really not worth going out of your way to travel 5 miles down the exit to get that cheap gas, but it'll tell you which one you need to go to on your exit ramp, or even before you fill up, before you leave home or wherever you're visiting before you come out. It also will show you, if you don't have your lodging already determined.
Hopefully you do.
Yes. It'll show you lodging for other trips. You can use that as well. And then than the things that we have on our traditional TripTick. So the diamond ratings for lodging and for restaurants, if you want to really, surprise your family by taking them out to that fancy restaurant, you can kind of do some research online ahead of time.
And do you have to be a member to use these apps?
You have to be a member to use the roadside part of the app. You can also call for roadside assistance, but you can use the app, the gas finder and stuff like that without being a member.
Okay, definitely some good advice. And we were talking a little bit more about, just obviously with the holidays comes the potential for impaired driving. I mean, what should folks be looking out for when they're driving on the roads? If they're leaving a Christmas party and they're worried about driving home, what options are there for folks?
So if you do see an impaired driver, a lot of people can spot an impaired driver, but they might also be distracted. They tend to have some of the same habits. So they're probably swerving or they're driving a lot slower than they should be. They are just something's not right. So if you do see an impaired driver, pull over, call 911. Let someone know that you think that the person in front of you is impaired. Don't try to stop them on your own. I know you want to get close to identify the vehicle, but don't get so close that if they swerve, they might hit you. So make sure that you keep yourself safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Commissioner, do you guys have, during the holiday season, the van, the big trucks you see with the flashing lights if they're wrecks, do you have to bring in more people?
Well, great question. We call those our help trucks, and we actually don't bring in more. They operate 24 hours a day anyway, and everything's connected to our what we call our TMCs, which is where we have all of our cameras, and so are our screens for our cameras. So and then they're dispatched from there. We have 4 of those across the state. They're very they're pretty high tech, and we will send them out to if there's anybody stopped, if there's a wreck or whatever. It's a great program for us, and we're excited about that. Another thing I think people need to be aware, especially on like New Year's Eve and other times, the THP will have stop areas, patrol areas, and there's a new law which allows the highway patrol person to get an immediate warrant to test for drugs or alcohol within a car without a search warrant, and I don't know the intricacies of that law, but they are really cracking down on that. And again, I think that's one of the reasons why our fatalities are down. Their number of alcohol-related tickets have gone up tremendously. So everybody's focused for trying to save lives. Your job, our job, really is to save lives across the state of Tennessee, even though people don't want to pay attention to us because they do the things they're not supposed to do, and things happen. And we're really pushing hard to get down to 0 fatalities. That won't ever happen.
Right.
But the question always is, and I love that, is, so how many fatalities would you accept in your family? And the answer is none. So if every family looked at it that way, we would do it. As you said, the passengers, whatever. If if I make sure everybody in my car is wearing a seatbelt no matter what, and those are things you got to do, and you're going to save lives.
Absolutely. And with these help trucks, which cities do they operate in? Are they main metropolitan areas?
We're in Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, and Knoxville right now. But they operate 24 hours a day, and they do everything. They will fix flat tires. They will put gas in a car. If you're pulled over to the side, a help truck will. If you're in one of those areas, I promise you, if you're there for more than 3 or 4 minutes, a help truck will pull behind you and see what's wrong and try to help you along the way. The purpose is to clear the path and to make it clear, get people off shoulders, because shoulders are safety areas if you need to take to them, and so we don't want vehicles in shoulders. So we're trying to keep our roads as clear and cars moving as quickly as possible.
And if you're driving down the road and you do need one of these help trucks, what number do you
can't call.
Okay.
We'll see it.
Oh,
and
okay.
I promise you, we will get to you. And because that's how high tech we are. So
Great.
cameras are there; they're looking. We don't want people calling us because it would be, it'll be, well, what exit do I take? Where,
Good point.
So we have them. They're cameras. They're dispatched. They're mobile. They're traveling on the roads all the time. I promise you, we'll get to you.
Absolutely. And Stephanie, we were kind of talking a little bit before about just preparing your car before you go. Obviously, we're kind of getting down to the wire on this, but you recommend folks getting a checkup before they go.
Yeah, if you have time, go take your car in, especially if it's getting close to needing an oil change. Ask your mechanic to check your tire pressure, your tread depth, and just all of those belts and coolants. One thing that people are surprised to know is that in the summer, the heat of the summer is actually what kind of weakens your battery, but then it's the cooler temperatures that zap it. But if that battery is a couple of years old, it may be close to going anyway. So you can ask them to test your battery and get that checked out before you leave so that you don't get stranded on the side of the road. AAA expects to rescue about 900,000 motorists, and you definitely don't want to be one of them.
For sure, especially with all the Christmas presents in the back seat and your children.
Right.
Not good. Well, Stephanie and John, thank you so much, Commissioner, for joining us this morning. Hope you learned a lot about holiday travel. Of course, get on the road now if you are traveling, and if you are, travel safely. We're going to be taking a quick break, but we'll be right back after this.